Hello, everybody, and you're welcome. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Coffee and Beans podcast with Adeshola Balogun. My name is Adeshola Balogun, of course. And on this episode, I have a very exciting and interesting personality. I've known him just, I say a couple of months now, but, meeting him has expanded my thought process, mind. Every time I speak to him, I'm always challenged, and it was imperative, that I brought him on the podcast. He's not the type to come on podcast typically, but he did it because of me. On today's episode, I have Mr. Olasunkanmi Mustapha. Every time I call him, you say, "Well, just call me Musty." So on today's episode, and if you see him on the road, just call him Musty. He's the Chief Strategist of 21st Century Evolution Systems Limited. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's a fashion enthusiast. In fact, that is how our paths crossed. And on today's episode, we will be taking a deep dive into strategy, which is one of his the things he likes to talk about, strategy, and why it's important for a company to adopt a winning strategy for their business. Welcome to the pod, Musty.
Thank you.
How was the intro? I tried, right?
I know you tried, but did. Mr. Outspoken for a reason.
No. On this episode, the cat I wear is that of a podcaster. So, I was in preparing for this podcast. I learned about what you do as the chief strategist. First of all, why are you not called the MD or the director? Why did you adopt chief strategist?
Okay, so one of the things that I believe has helped me thus far to go this far is to understand humility.
Right.
Now, with those roles, CEO, MD, it comes with a certain baggage, right? So chief strategist, it's just recently I saw other people picking it up. I've been a chief strategist for 17 years now.
Wow.
Right? So now I see a lot of people picking it up. It just doesn't stress me.
Right.
It doesn't give me that thought process of you're there yet. That CEO thing has a finality to it, right? So the chief strategist
we are okay. Nice.
An
evolving role. Okay. Awesome. That very nice way to put it. So for what you do with 21st Century, you do. I read up. You do integration. You do automation. You're a systems integrator. Now, there's a lot of you play in a lot of industries, but I see that hospitality. You've done hospitality for about 20 years. Now, what about hospitality does it for you? You are one of the. You are the founder now with your wife of Ileyon by Pods, which is one part of the many faceted sides to you. But what about hospitality does it for you?
So let me take you back a bit. I grew up with my grandfather.
Right.
His name was his restaurant, his hotel used to be called Gastella in Kaduna.
Oh.
V40 Kerala Road,
Wow.
to the Wada. Street in Kaduna. I was very close to Kosambeji. That's where I grew up.
Right.
And
So you speak Hausa well?
I'll tell you about that later. I used to speak Hausa
And you lost
properly. I was trying to settle a fight one day and something happened and I lost that speech area, but it comes back.
Right.
Kadan.
Yeah, okay.
So my grandfather was very hands-on. Right. He was the first Nigerian GM of Leventis.
Wow.
Right, so to him, his grandson, I was the first grandchild.
Okay.
Right? So he took me on nice, and we would be in hotel rooms. In his hotel room, he owns it. We're fixing TV back in the day.
Wow.
People would talk to us and they're thinking we're electricians.
Right, yeah.
The owner. Right, so I think he was imbibed in me
Right.
to be very courteous and hospitable to people very early on in life. But all of that shifted though. Education-wise, everything was systems. IT. Systems IT. My uncle used to work in Gulf Oil.
Right.
Gulf Oil is now what's called Chevron.
Chevron, yes.
Right? Now I used to work with a lot of Indians. I used to spend my holidays with him. So generally I ended up with Indians, spending time with systems. I started I started writing code when I was around 8, Fortran and all that, right?
Yeah.
So there's that merge there, right?
Right.
So now with the IT background, which was what I focused on growing, there's this inherent thing that was behind the scene about hospitality. And when God would have it, I thought at first it was a mistake because, I finished school, I was looking for stuff to do, and boom, hospitality opened its hands to us, right? My uncle owns Avalon Limited. Right?
Yeah.
Alhaji Tajuddin Owóyẹmí is the juggernaut when it comes to hospitality in this country. He's one of the first starters, that went into it. So the Protea Ikeja, Protea VI, and this was one of the first entrants into that industry,
yes.
right? And I was lucky enough to be part of the team to help do all of this. So that also imbibed a lot of things in me, right? I quickly understood how the operational side of things needed to work from an IT perspective, right? For the guests to be able to enjoy what they were spending, right? And also to understand how the back end needed to work to make sure that information was being passed to the guys at the back of the house to serve the front of the house.
Right.
And then it just expanded from then on, right? So that was how hospitality opened up. And then IT already there was there for us, right? But it didn't stop at IT whenever I'm working on a hotel project. It goes way beyond because of the knowledge. They say knowledge is never lost. I'm a true believer of that, right? You find out that, you did something at some point in time. Never take it for granted. Hold it close. But you see, at first, it might seem like if it's free work. Now, strategy-wise, when you look at it, free work can become something that brings earnings later.
Yeah.
But you have to have owned it and have references. So imagine when the owner of a hotel that I've worked on with IT is telling another owner that's about to start to say, see, I know this guy's an IT guy, but you need this guy. This guy will help you through the entire mile. And why? Because I've been at the beginning to end of the Marriott Ikeja at the time when it was launching was my 16th, I believe, hotel that I ran from scratch to finish. Now we're around the 23 mark.
Wow.
As of now, right? And that's because we've dedicated ourselves to the craft.
Right.
But we're not just helping clients only with the IT part. We're helping with everything. From cutleries to how your room should look to the kind of staff that you might require.
Yes, I was going to go there. That why? How do you do it? Where they bring you in to do, come on, do system integrator, and then you are helping people. You are helping because you told me at the Marriott that you pick this light, you pick this cutlery. How did you go? How did you move from there to gain their trust for them literally entrusting you with the nitty gritty, the simplest of things, so to speak?
So I'll give you an example as well. There's a guy I met, Mr. Shola, right? He knows how to pattern adire with ashoke,
right,
to make nice pants. So who do you think I'm going to ask about that whenever I want to do it? I'm going to reach out to him, right? Value, right? When you show value in certain things, people generally know, wait, he knows what he's talking about. So also, I am not trying to put myself in the place of I need to earn from that. But I have the knowledge. When I get into someone's house, it's a bad habit. I'm snagging. I'm seeing all the wrong
things, yeah.
Right? My people know me. When I come into the office, I'm looking at the artworks. Is it well aligned? So already as I'm coming into the office, they're already beginning to check around.
Let's see what is out of place.
Because that is there. I need things to work in a certain way, right? So when you talk about hospitality is about what do I show to people that when they come in, they're calm, they're okay, right? Now, all of those things have a back end that need to function.
Right.
There are specialists that do that. But you see, the aesthetic value of how they will look is also a huge part of it. That's something that 21st brings to a project.
Right.
So we're not just installing IT stuff. You see some people do, you just get to their hotel, at the reception you can see the
wires and stuff. Yes.
You can even see a rack.
Yes.
Sometimes you do. And to them it's, at least they can see out. Nobody wants to see that. The guests, once you just come in, have a great time, have internet, watch TV, it's clear, and sleep on a good bed. And when they want to bathe,
water is running.
Water, right? But there's a lot of services that work all behind
to make that work.
That is the knowledge that I've acquired over time, that I'm able to say, well, I know this guy is telling you to do this way, but do you want to consider this way as well? Or do you want to merge them together, right? And also, like my wife always says, Musty, you're like a sponge. Whatever it is that you see around you, you just suck.
Yeah.
Because I like to learn. And I think it also goes with that Chief Strategist.
Okay, so I have a question. Where does an entrepreneur get to where you have the mindset that I should go over and beyond this. I'm not being paid for this extra I'm doing. I don't know if it will yield any returns, but it behoves on me to make sure that I give, because what I find out is, and sometimes I wouldn't lie, I'm guilty of it, where how much did they pay me for this work? Let me just do what they paid me for, and then I move on. But you are a testament to the fact that giving value to the customer, even when you are paid for A, but you do B, C, D, pays off on the long run. What sort of mindset should an entrepreneur have? I know you mentioned in the past, but I want you to take a deep dive to ensure that beyond what I'm being asked to do, I will do this, and hopefully one day that will pay off.
So I think you can look at it from two angles, right? First of all, whatever it is you're doing for someone, understand that you're learning and you're gaining more knowledge. So already there's a payment.
Right. Even though it's not monetary.
Right. But I know how every other person thinks.
Exactly. As in, if it's not bringing cash at that point in time.
If he knowledge from law school, that kind of thing, right? But when you look at it in the long run, is this. When I look at Nigeria, and this is how I am, I'm very Nigerian in my thinking.
Right.
I'm not racist, but I think this way. If you are opening a hotel, a 50-room hotel, and you're struggling, if your hotel opens, how many Nigerians is it going to hire? And you see, with everybody that you hire, back it up with 3 people that are attached to them from something, right? What are you doing? You're helping the company.
Yeah.
The country grow.
Country,
right?
yes.
Everybody is talking government all the time. I believe that we are a major part of governance, right? So I look at a hotel like, there's one we're working on in Benin right now, Radisson Blue, right? And this owner is Nigerian. He's going to take money from the banks. He's putting a lot of risk to get this going. If that hotel does not open, it is not to the gratification of anyone. It's actually a loss to the economy.
To the economy, yes.
So that's what I think. And then I think, okay, how can I be of help to this person if they require? So I'll say, okay, I think this is going wrong here in your project. Why don't you try this? And I think this person is the person that can help you. So I'm not directly maybe involved. And over time, maybe if they see my value, come sit on the table when we're discussing this. Give your value in. Now, the payment for that might not come immediately, but I have some relationships today. People that are not in our age range that I can call. And some of them even call me my friend. That is something that I feel is even a greater reward. You don't know when you might need that.
Yeah.
And then, okay, maybe there's a third angle to it. I'm a Christian. I feel that whatever it is that I do, it is the Lord that directs my path.
Right.
So if I'm supposed to do something here, it might not be for the now. It might not even be the gains for me.
Hmm.
Who knows? It might be the gains for my children. It might even be the gains for my enemy's children.
Hmm.
But at least it's someone's gain. There's this proverb my granddad used to say. He used to say that old men plant trees, shades that they will never sit under. But we're losing that little by little.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to plant.
And sit under the shades today.
So those thought processes help me.
Awesome. I mean, I want to talk about. Earlier when introducing you, I introduced you as a serial entrepreneur. It looks to me like the kind of person that likes many irons in the like to put many irons in the fire.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I have just one talent, and see, I don't know how to handle multiple businesses, and so it's always interesting when I talk to people that do many things. That how are you able to handle? It's still part of strategy, but how are you able to, for that person that has multiple talents, multiple giftings, expressions, how are you able to, do all of that and still make a success of each of them?
So
should I give them a rundown of all the businesses that you own? I'm just joking. Just please speak to that.
We do run quite a number of
Yes,
businesses.
exactly. I want to talk about one of them, but yeah.
So I think at the last count we're at 9, 10. Yeah.
Wow.
So one of the great things about it as well is having great people around you.
Yeah.
Right. Having people that support your vision, understanding that you're a visionary. There are people that I've hired that every time I talk about something new, they are just about to collapse. Like, I beg this guy not again. But what I see is value. So let me give you, for instance, where I see you. You're a creative person.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you're applying that creativity only to
clothes. Yes.
But it does not mean that you're actually not applying it in another way. I see your videos.
Yes.
Who directs them?
I do.
So you're actually not, it's just that, you see, we don't understand that in one business, you have several value chains.
Right.
And for me, I just look at it that, okay, let's say, like one of our staffers now, Bolade or Femi, they have ability to run a certain part of the business. So apart from what they currently earn, which is salaries, I'm looking for a way that if I expand this around them, and maybe they get ownership in there, can they build it with me to a point where it's already another sustainable business?
Right.
Employing people. They have now become no longer salary earners. They're also entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs, yes.
There's this concept I was taught many years ago by my grandfather. He used to call himself an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is the guys that they're in the workspace, they earn salaries, right? But they also are operators of that business. Now, some people mistake it and think, because I can operate this guy's business, let me also can start my own.
Yeah.
Then you have a lot of failures in there, right? So you have to understand which you are, an entrepreneur. One of the things, I was hearing someone's podcast recently, and they actually talked about operators, and it's something that people never really talk about. Entrepreneurs are necessary to have inside of your businesses.
Yes.
Because you, as the visionaire, you can visualize. But there's a difference between starting a business and running a business.
True.
It is a wide gap. And that's why I tell you that the people that I have supporting me are the major part of why I'm able to do
what you do.
All of this. Then also strategy-wise, that's when you see when maybe we want to diversify into an industry. We look for someone that's already in there. Or maybe we get approached by somebody that's already in there. We want to build around the person. So the person already knows the business.
Right.
We know structure. We know management. We know finance.
Yeah.
We know procurement. So we bring that in. then we now look, is this something that can scale? Right? Is this something we're interested in? Or is this something that we're doing for the furtherance of humans? Like, you're just investing here. Yeah, I know people feel it's stupid, right? But is it every time
you do something and you must get profit back? Personal gain. Yeah.
Why can't other people make, something
right
out of it, right? Giving is a very, very big part of our spiritual journey that people don't understand. If all of this money was for you, why do you have so much of it? When you can't do anything more.
You can't do anything more, yeah.
But you still want to just, So it's, for me, it's.
Okay, so I mean, there are systems. So my question is twofold. Yes, there are systems, but there are also people, which is literally the crux, the fulcrum in which the systems rest. Where do you find the people that are passionate about your vision? Do you find them ready-made? Do you train them? Because I feel if you ask a typical business owner, he will tell you the biggest bane of, a typical, let's say an African business is people. The people either can tear down your business or help it grow. You seem to be doing a good job at having the finest set of people around you. For that business owner out there that's struggling, how do you make that work? Having the right, surrounding yourself with the right set of people. Are you like a people whisperer? Like if you see them and they speak to you, you be like, yes, you're supposed to be here. Like Jesus called the disciples. I don't know. Talk to me.
No, but at the end of the day, right, this might be a part spiritual response, but it's something that I believe in, right? When God made Adam, we looked at him and knew he was going to struggle.
No.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to find help for you. There are some critical roles that you're going to require help with, right?
Yeah.
Especially as an entrepreneur, I came up with little knowledge, but I knew what I wanted to deliver for my clients.
Yes.
Peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Anything IT, I wanted my client to know that they had peace of mind.
Right.
So along the way, first of all, whenever you see an email from accounts, it's me. An email from admin, it's Musty. An email from marketing. Of course, Musty is not the one signing off on it, but it was all me, and it was scheduled. Now, over time, that means, I need these people. Now, earnings started coming in because we bootstrapped. Even up to this point, we bootstrapped.
Right.
Okay, now I need these people. And also the point where you now also need people to help you find those people. Now you have to find those people. Who does this and who does this well? And then the laborer is due his pay.
Yeah.
So you bring people in and say, okay, this is what I want to do now. I need this kind of people. Then they start asking you things like, I remember when they say job description. Job description. You must critically
know what you're doing.
In our own days, you come in, once they say you're IT, anything that has to do
with
IT,
they put you in, and as long as they can train you well.
The thing was recently we were hiring social media managers. Now they say it's no longer social media managers. There's videographer.
Yes, sir.
There's this.
They specialized it too.
So we're learning, right? But in all those learnings, right, and understanding, and you're getting understanding, you have to now look at, okay, we're hiring. You as the entrepreneur, which is a mistake that I made at some point, you have to be in those interviews. Maybe not in the first or second level interviews, but once it's getting to the point where you're trying to decide, you need to sit in there. Why? You are the visionary.
Yes.
You have to. You know when somebody understands what you want.
Yeah.
There's just a way that, you start,
I think this person will be a good fit.
Now, there's not the other part of how to keep those kind of people happy, especially now with our GZ kind of people, right? It's an interesting thing, though. It's very interesting because as life moves, you understand that you have to learn, you have to stay abreast with many things to try and see how you are going to be able to get people to a certain level. Also, just to add this, when you now find good people, trusting them, letting them understand that they're an integral part of what you're doing,
right,
it's also very important. Which means it's just like I always tell people, whenever we want to do partnerships, coming even to work for us is like almost like a marriage. I'm going to let some power go for you to function, depending on of course the level of this person, right? When you're able to trust them with something, so you're not thinking about that anymore, or even they're coming to you just for decisions, but they need to know that you have given them that access. Now you are keeping them as well. Now those people you're keeping sometimes will be the ones to lead you to the next people that you need.
Because I was going to say, what do you say to that business owner who is afraid of giving power, giving that much power, and say, they'll carry my company, away, or they would steal my customers. But it's essential because you can't. If you're, I heard there was a saying I heard that for you to be able to grow, you need to be able to give some power away. Like for instance, they talked about, the Redeemed Centers of God has many parishes. I'm sure Pastor Ebo doesn't even know half of. So how do you get to that point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to give you this amount of power, despite the trepidation I feel that you are going to, So how do I tell myself that it's going to be okay, or I need this?
So when you get to that stage, usually you know. Sometimes people know already,
right,
but they react or respond to it, right? And at that point, the business you are trying to hold so dear is no longer there. Because at the time when you are supposed to leave being an entrepreneur and become a manager, you are still being an entrepreneur, right? Or at the time when you are supposed to move from being a manager, an operational manager, to a strategic manager, you are still being operational. So strategically, there's no growth. And then your customers have seen, for instance, like, Oga can't do more than 200 these things a month. And they already know, let me look for somebody else. Right. Now in that sector, you're able to see, no, I need this person now. If I am scared, yes, it is valid. Now, who do I need to speak to put a system around what I'm about to do?
Yes.
So that I'm able to understand that, okay, to an extent, yes, it's there, but
it's
something that I can audit.
Right.
At some point to say, I look at it. I'm going through a phase right now where I've stopped being as operational as I used to be, and I'm being more strategic. Right. I won't lie to you, it's like leaping out of a pond and then into the ocean. So different things are hitting you, right? But trusting the process and learning to trust the people that you're working around with. And interestingly now, especially with some of the things that have happened to me recently, having a proper legal structure that helps you around it. Before now, I used to think if I give somebody a proper letter, legal, it's almost saying we don't trust each other.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it's to the contrary. I trust you, but there's a think of the devil in each of us that we can't trust, you understand? So let us just put it in a way that we can. And then, what if at the time they want to interpret it, one of us is not there anymore?
Right.
It is destined that man we shall go, we will die at some point. Somebody needs to be able to read the document and say, okay, this is where it was, this was what they agreed, and this is how it's supposed to go. In marriage, there's no way you won't give power off.
Yep.
There is no way. There's no coming.
There's
together. There's no coming together. You see how many failures that we see in the marriages nowadays. And when you actually look at it, because somebody is holding
all the power and control,
not wanting to let go of something, they have to go. For growth to happen, you have to give the seed into the ground, cover it up, and you cannot see it. So,
Taiwo,
do you agree with that?
As in quotable quotes. Another question. Operation. You mentioned something, operations and strategy. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially African entrepreneurs, are still stuck in the operations phase of their business, the day-to-day running. Why is it important, and what does it entail to move from being an operations person to a strategy person? Because I know that I don't know with the strategy is what makes your business grow. Strategy is what gives your business that leverage. I mean, you are a strategy guru. Why first of all, why must an entrepreneur move from being from solely from operations to strategy, and then what does it entail?
Okay, so for growth to happen, right, even seedlings must move from nursery to either a greenhouse or to, there's something my granddad always used to say as well.
Shout out to your granddad, though. I mean, shout out to him.
No, but it was, we spent a lot of time together, right? He used to say, look at the leaf on the tree. Once it stops changing color, it dies, it falls off. So if you stop learning and growing, you actually, even doctors tell us nowadays that once you stop moving as a person,
once you stay sedentary, then there's a problem.
Your body starts to shut down, right? And then you see people that retire. If you look at it, what happens to them after a while?
It's like death comes knocking, or they become very. So
when you want to look at that conversation of, you've been in operations, you've set how it's supposed to work. You had the vision, so you have put it
in. Yes.
Right, you've written it down. People have now come to working with you. Also, for growth trajectory, from the operational standpoint, you have to move for the people under you to also grow.
Yeah.
When they don't see any growth trajectory, they go somewhere else, and then you're saying you're battling a competitor. No, you created the competition.
Right.
Right. Now, once leaving the operational part, moving to strategy. Why is it necessary? You want to grow that business.
Right.
The vision for you at the time of starting might have been in one place. While you are growing, you see opportunities.
Of course.
For you to take hold of those opportunities, you have to leave the operations and focus somewhere. But if you leave the operations alone without somebody else managing it, then you have a failed company, right?
Wow.
So that's quite important, right? For strategy as well, when you look at it, what's a strategist role? You plan. So with your planning says, okay, this is the action point, right? You pass it on to the operations people, right? So let's say they are supposed to do 10 actions to get to the results of what they want to do, right? Now, every day they take those actions. Then you, as a strategist, you have to check, okay, they took the action. Then you have to analyze. The analysis is, okay, did they do all the 10 actions? Okay, how did they do it? Was it well done? Was it excellently done? Was it poorly done, right? Okay, then by the time you analyze, you bring the result out and you sit down with the operations person again and say, well, this is what you did, this is where we are, but this is now what we're in. If you are sitting in operations, who is going to do that part? Right? And then you now have to now say, okay, operations, so it seems there's this thing missing here that we need to deal with. Yeah, let's add it. Let's try it. Next thing, you give them again a set of list of actions. Then you come back again. You analyze, you look at it, results. Okay, do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's a necessary process, right? It's just like how, we all grow, right? You were once crawling, and then you start to walk, learning. Then you
walk, then you run.
It's a circle, right? And then in all of this as well, if you don't leave space for growth, right? Your children are also there as well, right? In the 48 laws of power, there's a part that I never used to understand. I've read it so many times. It says that power is not transferred. Power has to be taken. And why does power have to be taken? Because the person that has the power doesn't want to relinquish.
Yeah.
So it's not just you or other people alone struggling with that concept. It's just out there. I've gained all of this. I've done.
I've struggled. I've sweated. Were you there when I was sweating and starting this thing?
But you have to give up. You have to give up for you to grow. Strategy is an important part of operations. You will now see from a point of, because you are no longer in the day-to-day. It's almost like an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
You're not saying, was that what we were doing? Nonsense. Like, okay. No, guy, now here we they miss someone.
It looks like a lot of work. I'm sure a lot of people listen and probably like, man, why do it sounds like a lot of work. Do I need to go to school for it? How does one learn it? Do you is it by experience? Do you literally have to go to school for it? Because from what you said, it's important. It's an important. If you're passionate about the growth of your business, it's important to employ strategy. My question would be, strategy, is there a one-stop solution, one-stop strategy solution for regardless of the industry you play in, or it is typical, or it's peculiar to each industry? So I play in the fashion space. The strategy I employ, is it the same? Would it be the same across board for somebody who plays in this, let's say, hospitality, for instance? And if it's different, how do I know the strategy that works for my industry? Do I use the playbook of somebody who it has worked for? Where do I get this knowledge from? Is it from experience? Is it from my failures? What? How do I get it?
So interestingly, I was talking with someone about this a couple of days ago, about how many podcasts are out there, and you don't even know which one is relevant.
Is relevant, yes, yeah.
Right. But one of the things I do is when I listen to a podcast, I'm searching for knowledge.
Right.
So one of the things I used to do that people didn't like initially, even at the point my mom used to beat me for it, is I read.
Yeah.
So even when I'm supposed to be eating,
you read.
I have a book by my side, and the food is
getting
cold and all of that. So I used to get. And why? Because knowledge is not, can be for one person alone. Journeys that other people have taken reveal new areas for others. So for someone in an industry, fashion for instance, right? How you manage your guys in the work area, blue collar guys, right?
Right.
It's not the same way you manage the guys in the same kind of workspace. So there's a difference.
Right.
So why don't you learn from others? There was a time I wasn't interested in doing fashion, but there was a time, there's a company called Oshua, she does fashion. She used to be in Dolphin yesterday. I was doing a free business analysis 2-3 months course with people like that on how to help their businesses scale. And what did I do? It was free. So come in, look at their business. Well, first of all, you don't have a logo, you don't have a website, you don't have okay, let's do all of this for you. Take that. Then your backroom staff, how are you managing them? So I'll tell you one funny thing about fashion is the tailors and all of these guys, I found out that when you want to increase their productivity, food and music,
yes,
is not more than that.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I can't testify. Yes.
And obviously, when they finish their work, you pay them. So I brought in a payment structure where, for every piece that was made by the tailor, you get paid, even whether it's been bought or not. So how does it work? And once you even get a bonus when the person that comes to fit it. If it is made to measure. Now there's ready to wear and then there's the made to measure, right? If it is made to measure, the person comes in and fits it and there's no change. First of all, brand reputation has increased. To you or the owner, to the tailor, it gets an extra bonus because you didn't have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
But in his head now, he's trying to be more perfect at what he's doing because he says,
for this one, money's coming.
Food day, and they play music. That was it. So how do you look at those kind of pain points and address it in all industries?
Right.
Is where that comes from. And for me, it is reading, listening to people that have done it. Or in some instances, working with them for free. But the knowledge that you have is never lost, right?
Right.
So,
Okay, so as we round up this episode, I mean, I want to talk about Ilayoung by Pods. No. Ilayoung by Pods. I mean, it wasn't enough that you did integration and all that in the hospitality business. You decided to set up your own. How's that experience been?
Interesting, quite interesting. Not like an out-of-body experience because something had helped others do over time.
Okay.
I mean, the thing about hotels is they also have restaurants, right?
Yes.
So you plan, you push, you pre-plan, But in this kind of case, what we did was, knowledge is free. Is we looked at the market that we felt was being underserved. Everybody was doing fine dining or buka.
Right.
Nobody was meeting people
Halfway,
right? Food cooked with love was also missing. No, yeah, you say fine dining was food cooked with love, but yeah, I chop and buy no food. How's that love? Do you get what I'm saying? But food cooked with love, right in the middle, I chop, I belly food.
Yeah.
The area looked like a place where I could come and sit down and I could take pictures and videos in. So yeah, I also felt that, right? So it was something that was missing, and we felt this is our entry into that space. And I'm sure you know about how we got to where we got to at that point. It was an interesting experience. It was something that was supposed to foster a collaboration that would have birthed quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
But, which it did not, But in all, there's lessons that was learned, and there are other things that I feel have come out of that are also, great. I was I'm mentoring somebody that's trying to open their own restaurant right now, right? It's doing almost the same thing like we're doing, and one of his questions was, I thought when I was going to come to you and ask you were going to be
you will keep the information, yeah.
And I'm like, no. First of all, look at the entire country Nigeria is. How much people do we have in Nigeria?
Over 200 million.
That's the number
yes.
That number we've been throwing around for like 5-6 years.
Yeah, so
like say nobody done born, right? But when you look at it, really, there's a people, so there's a market.
Right.
Now, one thing I believe is that if there's no competition, the market is not really big enough for you to enter into. Right. Look at it now. When video conferencing started, let's even look at something that is no longer really as prevalent. There
Skype.
Was Cisco.
There was Cisco, yes.
Cisco was a $40 billion market at that point in time. Then what's their name?
Skype, yeah.
Then some other little entrants came in as well, here and there.
And then Zoom blew it out of the water.
But guess what? The industry was still there.
Yeah.
It didn't mean that there was no... Were they rubbing against each other?
No.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, well.
I'll give you another example. Sheraton was the only hotel in Ikeja for the longest period.
For the longest period, yeah. Everybody was going
was
to...
always full.
Full, yes.
Always full. Now, when other hotels started opening up, the idea in everybody's head was we're stealing from their market. But they forget that markets expand based on availability.
Right.
So Sheraton will still fill up. The new hotels will also fill up.
Yeah.
Where are the people coming from? And then this is another Nigerian young man that wants to start something. Employ more Nigerians.
Yeah.
Be there for people. Why won't I help him? Why won't I help him to put some more money into people's hands?
Yeah.
To get also somewhere in his life as well. Why not? So it's, for me, it's knowledge. I've been saying too many things about Bible and religion here.
No, but I mean, it just shows how much faith is the bedrock of who you as a person. My other question will be twofold. One, what's your long-term plan for Leon by Pods, especially as, I mean, you're selling one thing, like, people will have variety and say, we have variety of foods, but you told yourself that, this one, I'm going to focus on it. And I must say, I was at the branch in Yaba, excellent service, excellent food. So he's someone who puts his money where his mouth is. So, but what's your long-term plan for that? Do you want to, is it still, because calling it Leon, you put yourself in a box. So is it something where you want to increase product offerings, or is it still going to be the same, the same meal you're serving, but serving it in a more, what's the English now? Serving it in more innovative ways. Yeah. Yes, and then Pods, your hospitality baby. What's the long-term plan for that as well?
Okay, thank you for asking that. So the goal with every other thing that we do is to also find a way where we give, right? We started off Ladder. Ladder Limited is a company that does
yes,
tapioca,
flavored gari and all of that.
Flavored, infused.
Infused. So please,
actually,
what's the difference?
So infused and flavored. Flavors, you can get flavoring and just drop on.
Right, right.
Like. This is, you're putting all the ingredients from coconut and you're finding a way to put it into it and
right,
to bond together, so you still have all the nutrients in there. And why did we start it? We were, when Boko Haram started, so before Boko Haram started, I used to go to the north to buy cattle,
okay,
and sell in the market, not retail. I used to buy bulk,
okay,
sell bulk, so we could do like 2 units every month, right? And then when Boko Haram started, I was in Magetere when it started, and it wasn't some place we could keep going to. And then over time, the people over there will call me and tell me how their people have been impoverished and they're in IDP camps, and they were also always asking for help. So I was looking for, if we keep sending money to these guys, it's never enough. What could we do for the children? So I went to Benin Republic and found out that you could actually get this thing done. And then in my head, I wasn't looking at it as a business. I was looking at it, okay, let's make it and be giving it to these guys. At least the people over there don't go steal the Gary because they just think it's normal. It's normal. By the time they give it to these kids, they'll be able to eat it. And then they're satisfied. Over time. And then a few times, friends will call me and be like, Musty, this thing, you're sitting on money, you know. And we thought, okay, let's give it a try. Now we can't even keep up with capacity.
Wow.
So we're trying to expand that. So coming back to port hospitality, right, and Ileyan by port, same thing we want to do. Food, whenever I go out to a restaurant to eat, funny thing was, when we started Ileyan, none of the staffers even knew me as maybe I know now or anything. I just go in there and eat because I just wanted good cooked food that was cooked with love, not people just trying to make gains of anything, right? Same thing we want to do, but now we want to expand to other places. Right. There are a few more branches coming up. Yeah. Now, and you still hear about them, right? And that's what we want to do. But much better is how we want to get the people that are working internally with us to also start getting into operational bases in all of those new restaurants and owning a bit of it. So it's no longer just about just us. It's about all of us.
The people.
Right? So that's where we're going with that. And then there's port hospitality. We're currently doing some Airbnbs in a few places that will soon launch. Right? And then going into more of a hospitality angle. The goal with port hospitality is to start owning a few hotels. Right. At some point in time. The model, we're still working on what model will work because, things have changed. But obviously, we want to serve we want to sell all of the underserved areas, which is part of our target, The Gen Zs, we want to give them their own kind of vibe, their own kind of stay. If you look at the likes of the Marriott, there's a brand they call Musty with the Marriott. It's vibrant, You see a lot of people there, but it lacks service. Like somebody coming to your room to give you a bill, you have to come down to get your own thing yourself, right? So different models that work, and then looking at the environment we're in as well, and what we sell as well, to be able to, obviously, because all of this need money to keep functioning. Exactly. Right? So you need to also look at that financial part. So those are our dreams and aspirations. By God's grace, maybe next time we'll be talking about better things.
Thank you so much, Musty, for your time. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. I mean, the many conversations we've had, I've told myself that I must record it, and I'm glad we were able to do it. I must say, I enjoy speaking to you. You exude you have a very bubbly personality, always willing to help, always willing to support, and I'm grateful for you having to do this. What would you say is your parting shots to the Nigerian or the African entrepreneur starting out in a with a business and is thinking, I don't know how this thing is going to take. I'm just starting out, but I mean, we've talked about operation, we've talked about strategy, but but I just want to make money, make profit, and let this business grow. What would you parting shot to that entrepreneur on how to on the path to take to ensure that your business grows outside of you and not just for yourself alone? Because I mean, a lot of people that start businesses. I started my business in school. I really just started because money wasn't coming in. My parents were not, and I just needed to sell something. But of course, after a while, you find out that, okay, you know what? I think my basic needs are met. How do I build this business that I sustain it to live to outlive me? What should that person be thinking of?
Okay. So there's always a start.
Yeah.
Something has to begin it, right?
Yeah.
I also had a very tough beginning in my life, right? And I needed to do stuff to make things ends meet and all of that. But it did not stop the who I am from thinking of how to do it well.
Well, yeah.
And it did not stop me. It did not make me greedy. They say there's 7 deadly sins. I still feel that all of it is one. It's greed.
Yeah.
Covetousness. You see somebody else is doing it and you want his own. Not that you even want to create yours. So this is my thought process. Nigerian or African, nobody is an island. Their idea is everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a book I have. It's called Borrowing Ideas. The Bible says there's no new
thing under the sun.
Right? Everybody's done it before. But how can you uniquely do it in your own way? That's a very key thing. Now, for many businesses currently even available in this country and in others, many of them are just below average. So all you really need to do is
take it up a notch.
Take it up a little notch, above average. Or bring it at an
average level, yeah.
But have the decency to hold yourself responsible to keep growing. It's a daily thing. I speak to myself. I soliloquize, they call it, in the mirror sometimes. Since I got married, I've stopped doing it because my wife thinks it's weird. I tell myself every morning, I'm listening to this. There's this song, dun 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 dun, and I'm telling myself, okay, yesterday you've done it, okay, but today is a different day. Come on. What are you going to do today? How are we going to do it? And then sometimes after that, NEPA will take light, but I'm sitting down with my pen, my paper, and I'm redrafting again to see, okay, what did I do yesterday? There was something I said earlier. You have to do list, so there's a list of stuff to do. Then you have to now stop, analyze what you did yesterday, right? How did I do it? What did I do well in it? And then you have to look at the result, and you don't have to lie to yourself. This is my result.
Yeah.
This is where I am. Okay, I've taken this result. Now, what can I do better with this result? Now, push yourself to do that. And then, sometimes it's just that continual phase. And then you still get to a point where you're like, okay, now I've done this. I'm tired. Who do I teach this? Who do I teach this? Yes, you want to expand. You want to grow. Who do I teach
Who do you teach this? Wow.
You've taught it to someone. But guess what? The funny thing about lecturers is when you're teaching somebody how to do something, you kind of find a new way.
Yes, that's true. Very true. Of doing it, yes.
So you see, you've given. They did not pay you, but you have learned something that you have taken away there. You're now going to run back, you're going to use. Meanwhile, that person might not have had that rema.
Right.
To get that done.
Yeah.
And then you moved into something else. So average businesses come in there into that sector, be above average or be good. And then what happens? The results start to come. You see, word of mouth, there's nothing that beats it in this.
Awesome.
Especially for people that have the kind of money that you want to talk to.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and then another thing, put yourself close to where your customers are.
Put yourself close to where your customers are.
It's very, very important. If your customer can't see you or they don't have access to you, right? Okay. Many people go on Instagram and do quite a number of things. But then you're just earning hand to mouth. The people that will pay you the kind of money,
they're probably not on Instagram.
they're not looking for your business on
Instagram.
because they feel like if you're on Instagram, it's for jokes and laughs. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So somebody has to tell and introduce you to them. It's been happening forever. Joseph was in the prison when somebody came to say,
Yeah.
I know this guy is a specialist at this thing, he's a chief strategy of dreams. If you say so, and when he came, Baba interpreted the dream.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously with all of this, once you get given the chance,
blow it out of the park.
Don't miss.
Don't miss. Thank you so much, Musty. We can go on and on and on, but we'll have to. Let's call this part 1. Watch out for part 2 really soon. That was the show, guys. I mean, if your mind was blown as much as mine was, then catch us again on another episode. Follow us on Instagram. Listen to past episodes. Give us feedback. We would love to hear from you. Are there any topics you want us to delve on? Are there any business owners? Are there any entrepreneurs you like us to have on the pod? Please send us a mail, fan mail at Coffee Beans Pod. Till the next episode, stay inspired.